And Giselle, take it away. Giselle, take it away. We got to figure it out now.
She's on mute now. We can't hear her. Giselle, we can't hear you.
I think that YouTube is going to be a better way for me overall to express myself.
In order to find success, lasting results. That's where SimplyGram comes in. SimplyGram offers a unique mother-child method of account growth that isn't available anywhere else. What's the mother-child method? First, we create a custom message designed to get users excited about visiting your profile with a link to your page. Next, we create a collection of Instagram. Express myself. In order to find success, lasting results. That's where SimplyGram comes in.
I know that's not my phone or my computer, so whoever that is.
What's the mother-child method?
I think.
No, so I'm not the only one listening to that. Cool, because I was just sitting here like, what's happening? What's at what point?
Create a collection of Instagram.
Well, you better buy some shoes. If you want to buy some shoes, gotta get them now, and it's gonna be really fast. And you gotta do this, and you gotta do that. So many other things. So, are we tuned in right now perfectly?
We tapped in. Like, we tapped into
right, perfect. Great. So, hey, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. So, first and foremost, I reached out to the Hood Mystic overall to just kind of digest and understand the chakra system and understand how the chakra system, like, what is it, first and foremost? And then how can we learn how to, one, understand our chakra system, and how does that connect with like cannabis and stuff like that? So you can start and like explain that for me, a little introduction to the chakra system.
Okay, so peace to everybody. Peace, Giselle. Peace, Emily. For me, this whole process, like, it's so much that we can talk about, and I said today we're going to be as simple as possible. And I'm going to throw it back to you because it's going to tie back into the point that you made in reference to, getting an echo for myself, but it ain't y'all, it's me. Decolonization spirituality, right? In reference to, all right, what are chakras? After going through this process, the easiest, simplest concept to understand chakras is understanding your personal God, your personal spiritual energy that directly deals with you in a matter of fact way in relation to the secretion of specific hormones in relation to your relationship with your God, i.e., chakras, in a 7-step sequential process. And actually, the cannabis aspect is the vibrations and the energies in a mix with other energies, that is the formula for Kundalini. So that cannabinoid energy, which we produce naturally, but it's suppressed because we just so mundane a lot of times that we don't know how to catch vibes. We don't know how to let ourselves go. And because of that, we are trapped, literally. So when you reference Kundalini, it's trapped energy at the base of your spine. So releasing that energy and dealing with your chakras in a safe, understanding way, but having a physical response to a spiritual concept is essentially what chakras are. Getting to name and understand your personal God. But that reference to decolonization spirituality, because everybody and their mama got a name for your God. So
I actually like the fact that you brought in African spirituality. And thank you for shining some light on what chakra systems are. I hope everyone is clear. I can't even see if they're asking questions. But when you talk about cannabis and spirituality and raising our vibration, would you say then, like, pretty much the life that we're living in right now is it is made for us to just exist in a low vibrational sense, and pretty much cannabis can be a really good help to like pretty much help decolonize your perspective, all of that like spiritual like learning that we're all getting. What do you think?
I personally think like if you're able to flip it, like generally, like it could be a person that's like smoking weed to suppress something very bad that they actually have to go through, and they can abuse it, right? However, my thing is ritualistic uh cannabis usage. So it's hard to understand spirituality, fam, for real, for real. Like if we're going out to the park, we're just at the park for real. We don't know. I hold on, Emily, I got you. All right, you good now. And let me blow you up. Like it's hard to understand what spirituality is for real. Like you can say for real, like, oh yeah, this is spiritual or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And you don't necessarily feel it. But if you go out into nature, like just specifically out to nature, and you have a blizz to help you assist you, like kind of calm your mind down, get into a particular vibration, or say for instance you doing a ritual with your friends or whatever, y'all like doing the craft or whatever like that or whatever, you know, just messing around. It's easier to do that type of energy, type of vibration in an altered state of consciousness. I'll even go further, like in I can't think of the author. It's either Phil Carroll. I'm pretty sure it's Phil Carroll. He put out a book called Liber Null, and he talking about like all of the magical, ritualistic energies that a person can get into. But before you get into anything, you got to deal with an altered state of consciousness, meaning that the shit that you on, as long as it's normal and mundane, and you know ABC is talking about it, then you know you good. But that's not an altered state of consciousness, and now you might tune in to my channel and you like, boy, this dude is weird as hell. But it's like
no, you're not weird. You're not weird at all.
I'm just saying to some people, but to deliver this particular concept, you gotta, when I say flip it, you can't be a normal slouch out here and like smoke weed, because your stereotype is going, it's going to beat you up way more than your actual life. So whether like shit, I got one of the foremost spiritual shop on Columbia. Like my store is the model for a lot of stores on Shopify. You know what I'm saying? And not to toot my own horn, but shit, it's having these ideas. Like you got to understand, I got so many ideas. Like, and not because I'm sitting around here trying to be mundane or lower my vibration. No. It's because I'm literally high. Like, but we always talk about like high vibes and things of that nature, and then you talk about like cannabis, and it's like
because people have really just colonized the idea of cannabis and overall ideas of herbs. If I know you slightly had a conversation with Adrian, the owner of Life Gardening Tools, who has like this idea and has a belief about herbology and like the energy system working together. Like cannabis is literally probably an herb that probably works with like your heart chakra, right? And that magnification, your interior, because I'm digesting this as like someone new. So like, I'm like for the newbie, right? I'm trying to break it down and code it in my head. Like I feel you, like I understand of like how, so just putting it all together.
Let's get scientific though. Like you have a, like, so in everywhere you go, you see CBD this, CBD that, CBD that. You know, they didn't just create that in the world. They didn't look in the world and say, all right, we're going to create something called CBD. No, your body has that within it, and they're creating the energy to help either bring that to life or help bring that process within you. So that's why, like, if you smoke weed or whatever, you like, I'm not about to take no CBD or whatever. But if you don't smoke weed, they love it, right? Because it's not actually the drug. If you hopefully this makes sense. It's
Wow.
not the medicine that you're taking. It's what the
Okay.
medicine is doing for your body, which is allowing your CBD, your cannabinoids, do whatever. So it'd be like, oh, you don't know, people be like, I had rheumatoid arthritis, I had stress, I had PTSD, but the CBD do it for me. It's not the CBD. No, the CBD is literally within you, related to your central. It's decolonizing our mind. We gotta understand ritual drug use, and we gotta understand sexual relationships, because both of those things tend to play. But the dark side of it is, let's go to a party, get high, and link up, and do this, right? That's
Yeah,
normal in our society.
because they normalize that.
But say, for instance, we want to do a ritual, or with your bae, and you want to do things with intention and things like that. Now it's like you weird, but you did it all. You did it already at the party, right?
That's true. That's true. That's true. That's true. But they rather use lube than use like CBD, which is something that's completely natural. And actually, if you work your sexual magic, can definitely manifest some real shit. So that was like my take on that as well. So that's
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah, definitely.
But like with Emily, I feel like what she's doing is another side of the game, because
Mhm.
it's like no matter how much you love CBD, if you gotta buy it for somebody, that might be taking food out your kid mouth, especially in COVID times. Motherfuckers can't even afford it for real, for real. So it's like, what can you afford for real in these days and times? However, I think Emily is putting together a nice little hack for everybody. And I know we've been kind of going back and forth, but I think she kind of got the reason why we even talking about this is because of her. I think personally, because of what she's got,
Yeah.
in support of her.
And
So
yeah, I also use cannabis spiritually. So, but Emily,
Ashe.
definitely take the wheel and
Yeah.
go ahead and introduce, and let's go and dive into this.
Word. Thank you, both of you, Hood Mystic and Caribe Witch. My name is Emily. I am a founder and worker owner of Jaime Madre. We are women and femme of color marijuana worker cooperative. Business model where all the workers are the owners of the business. We got into the market as most people in the legacy market. And in order to form our legal business and to get our LLC, we realized there was a lot of barriers because of the legislation. Marijuana, technically decriminalized in New York, people still are getting locked up for it, even though they passed 2 decriminalization bills. Talking about legalization now, but there's still not enough equity in the legislation, and there's not enough time for people to really get involved and participate in the industry. There are still a lot of opportunities for people to get in the industry. Like for us, for example, we had planned to start entering in the CBD and hemp space. But there's even barriers to that with liability insurance and costs to buy land. The license is relatively low compared to like an adult use license for marijuana grow with THC or high level contents of THC in it. But we're still doing a lot of advocacy work to make it more accessible to the people. We are fighting for home grow with adult use so that people can grow their own medicine. Hemp is still part of the marijuana plant. Like you can still very much extract CBD from marijuana, ruderalis, or the other strains of marijuana, such as sativa or indica. But with home grow, you get to personalize and you get to grow medicine specifically for your body because, like they were mentioning, we all have an endocannabinoid system, and each of our endocannabinoid systems are very different. We are able to get phytocannabinoids from other plants like marijuana, but even oranges, barks, sap, such as copaiba that comes from a rainforest. all can provide CBD benefits to our body, because CBD is a cannabinoid that's found in all plants, because marijuana is just a plant at the end of the day. It just has all of these amazing abilities to help your body create homeostasis, as they were talking about, which is why it's able to help with so many different ailments. And so it's so important that we do have access to this healing plant, because it has so much potential to help people with such a wide range of chronic diseases, and just like other issues that people are coming up with, and even just regular things like they were talking about intimacy with your partner, or diet, or anything of the sorts that people are managing with the imbalanced chakras and such. But if you're living in New York or in the US, you could plug into Drug Policy Alliance. They're at drugpolicy.org. If you're in New York, you can go to smart-newyork.com to check out information about how you can sign up to get involved with lobby days, and how you can contact your representatives to send them information about the Marijuana Regulation and Taxation Act, which legalizes marijuana in New York with equity, reparative justice, and community reinvestment. It's really important that we pass the MRTA, because 50% of the tax revenue from legalization goes directly to communities impacted by legalization. And right now, it's one of the most progressive bills in the country, aside from the MORE Act, which is the federal legislation to legalize marijuana in New York. That's the Marijuana Opportunity Reinvestment and Expungement Act. But when these legislations pass, I will say that a lot of advocacy is going to need to take place. Like, it's not like they're going to pass the bill and then they're just going to help people start their own businesses. Like, you have to start now. And what that looks like means like starting to save money, start meeting with people in your community to form worker cooperatives. You know, one person might not have $500,000 to start a grow, but maybe you get together with 5 or 10 people and y'all can put your money together and you can get a worker cooperative license to grow. It doesn't look like they're going to make any vertically integrated licenses in New York, but they're trying to prevent monopolies. And you know, there's a lot of multi-stakeholders that are trying to get into the industry in New York. And we, unfortunately, if it passes this year, I'm speaking into existence that it doesn't pass, because if it does pass, honestly, we're going to be fucked. Because there's a lot of people with their eyes on legalization in New York, because we have a really big market. They say New York consumes 77 metric tons of marijuana a year, which is higher than California.
Can I jump in real quick and try to also interject as you're explaining that part? I do also want to open up the opportunity of like, there's also different ways to increase or start your entrepreneurship path and do what you're doing right now. If like anyone's trying to start or wants to start, like there's connections that can be made for people that we can take like offline if anyone has questions. I know that definitely from like how we've met, there's people already in the cannabis industry who are able to help and have incubator assistants as well. I know that Life Gardening Tools definitely has one, and we can all try to like work amongst each other in order to like really push this forward. Because I feel like we've been having this conversation, but it's like the next steps of what are we going to do to establish and make sure that we can get money in the bank for people of communities like now and take action. Like for one thing, like that's just one thing that I think about in regards to building generational wealth and taking action now versus lobbying, because I have like an itch when it comes to lobbying, because I did it for like 2 years and not really has it helped me. I gave a lot of my energy away where we could have channeled that energy and created like a collaborative group and build money, which is the opportunity right now. I feel like we have, especially with like Hood Mystic and you, we can all kind of leave people with some tools of how to kind of who to reach out to in the cannabis industry if they're interested in collaborating with people in New York. And I know an entrepreneur definitely who has the opportunity to help people jumpstart their CBD or cannabis business.
My only thing is getting the word out. And so like I just want to like whatever it is to get up every day and do what you want to do every day, like with that passion and that energy, with the people who got that same mindset. Like that's why like shit I smoke, you feel me, but not because it's a lot of things that my creativity pays the bills, and a lot of energy wanted me to fucking be mundane factory worker even to this day, you know. And so I gotta go deep within my creativity, and ain't nobody gonna do that for me. So, and generally people like Emily, putting like Emily and you on the front line because y'all got so many resources, like grow co-ops and teaching that skill to people who smoke. You might crack open generational wealth like that because maybe they be like, well, you spend too much smoking weed, but now I grow it and I make money. Like, you know how the little kids used to play the video games and now all of a sudden they making more money than their parents, you feel me? That's the world that we live in, and I'm trying to create that reality.
That's exactly it. And that is what every millennial is living pretty much. I mean, I'm a first generation Dominican. So for me, my mother came in and she was like, she came in, she paved the road, but there's no way that I have to come in and now kind of like break down some trees and plant a building for like other people to then grow. And that's definitely the energy. Here is definitely Emily. I just want to just chime in and like bring you back. Sorry that I interrupted you because I just jumped in and I was like, hey, I just want to chime in. But you were saying.
Yeah, I just think that, lobbying is still very important because if we don't lobby, we'll be left out of the legislation. In Governor Cuomo's first version of the bill, there weren't worker cooperative licenses, and he left out home grow. Now there is worker cooperative licenses, and we're trying to fight for home grow. In his first bill to legalize, he was going to grandfather all of the medical marijuana dispensaries into the legal market. That means all of the 10 ROs that are currently in New York, which are all white owned and mostly not from New York, we're going to be the first people who had dibs on the industry and licenses to begin operating. And they already had a head start because they already operate medical marijuana businesses. So that has all changed. And so, and he created a fund for equity applicants. It's not a lot. It's $5 million over 5 years. And I think it stays at $5 million each year. But the first year is $1 million, and if a grow license is $500,000 just for the startup capital, like you're gonna spend, like that's not how that's gonna be divided by all the people that have been harmed by marijuana prohibition and not want to get into the industry. I do agree that like we can be creative and people can start ancillary businesses like graphic design, like event planning, like packaging, like delivery, like consumption lounges.
And let me also say, like, reaching out to people in areas such as Denver, Detroit, Cali, places where it's already going down at and progressively getting more downer. Like, it's not like, oh, this shit is crazy, we made a bad mistake. Everywhere it's at, people is like, it's comfortable. So generally, tapping in to people who already got it going and figuring out. I mean, it's a game plan. My thing is, personally, for us, is getting the word out and figuring out your team and your strategy. Because if that's intact, it's all happening. You know what I'm saying? Generally, what do you want to happen is the major key and the major goal that needs refined. But I'm loving the space and the energy that we're building. And it's just like a collaborative event of this is my platform, this is their platform, but y'all really did just get on here and not say y'all name, so we just kind of chat. Like people don't even know y'all name for real. like, can we get some goddamn IG names or something? You feel me, please?
For me, I'm Giselle, and my Instagram is Caribe Witch.
I'm Emalinda, and my Instagram is Jaime Madre, HIGHMIMADRE.
Yeah. And it's actually in the description, the actual spelling. But yes. I just love y'all platforms, and I love what y'all stand for, and I love the fact that y'all resourceful, like so knowledgeable in what y'all are trying to do. And for me, that's like super refreshing, and I really want to get behind it because when y'all speak, I can hear the days of just the page turning and the note taking and the page turning and the note taking and the building of relationships and like doing shit in the dark for nothing, right? And it's like, okay, this is somebody you really want to fuck with because they have absorbed their passion. And now it's like it's attached to your tongue. You feel me? Like everything you speak, everything you feel and breathe is your goal. But I know that that shit didn't happen overnight because you're so fluent, right? And it's kind of like a wonderful thing to witness and be a part of. So, can we talk about the book club a little bit?
I'm down for sure.
Yeah. Do you want to go ahead, Giselle?
Go to Social Wellness Factor. They still, yes. I'm sorry. I'm just reading some comments as I see them too. Yes, people are interested. Go to Social Wellness Factor. They still can't get a twist. They still can't twist the image. That's sure. That's for sure.
Chakra Nova will be releasing a book at the end of May that we'll be reading in June, and we'll start rolling out events probably in early July. And Chakra Nova will be here. I think it's Chakra Nova. The Mystic will be reading us in a healing circle for 7 months in February. And then a collaborative event around that time as like a reflection of the complete book and healing circle and how we've grown in our experiences during that time.
And I also want to add to that. I know that you're Mystic. I follow you. You already know that. I think everyone here knows about your book, and if they don't, they're gonna figure it out.
They will.
We're definitely going to do this.
Hey, they will.
All right.
Yeah.
And like as people, because I'm excited because I know we're gonna read this, and I'm gonna take some time, take some notes. I'm gonna add it to my lovely bookshelf of like books here. And as people are going through this book and you have questions, I know that I'm definitely going to be able to collaborate and help people with any questions about healing or crystals or anything associated to chakra, especially this book, Chakra Nova. So,
right. And so, like to add into what everybody else is saying, this is going to be because it's all like a big pot, right? And generally, this is the official book club in relation to the author. Like people can create their own book clubs for the book, but in relation to me, we're going to hold space every month, and the space that we'll be holding will be the space in relation to physical experience of each chakra, right? And generally, we want to create a ritual that we won't reference talking about the chakra any longer, right? Because we have the book for that, we'll have the workbook for that, but in reference to okay, root chakra, right? You're gonna feel that during this book club in reference to, and as we work through each month, we're referencing the feeling of each chakra, and the journal and the workbook aspect will be how has my life changed as I began to feel myself and myself has began to feel me. And generally, we're talking about a blissful, sexual, true feeling of self. Because when the reason why the self is so scary a lot of times is because it loves you so much, right? And now think about the ways that you love, like your baby or your mom or your dad, right? Yourself loves you way harder, right? So as you engage with your root chakra at a physical, experiential level, it's going to feel really, really good. And I want you to journal that, right? So the next month, we have a talking circle and a healing circle and an experience circle of, like, I'm only speaking from experience and the bliss that I feel in my heart and soul in this moment from doing this work. So generally that's what we're going to share. I don't want you to be afraid of doing chakra work, because the way that we're doing it, if you tune in and tap in at the ground level, right, that's why it's very exclusive, because you can't come in on this one at the heart chakra talking about it ain't for no clout, right? It ain't for no extra sales. It is for experience, the deepest levels of experience, like going to a party inside of your body, right? Shout out to Sierra. But
I'm sorry, but I immediately imagined like the whole little dance. Sorry that I get live on YouTube there.
yeah, it's gonna be that, and I just want to. That's where it's taking me. So, you know, how can people tune in and tap into the book club? Because generally, I don't want anything to do with that process. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want that to be completely up to y'all discretion. So I just, because I want the circle to be sacred, and I don't want it to be for clout, because this is an ancestral thing. The reason why we link, like, y'all know, we could sit and talk all day for real. You know what I'm saying? We just got a vibe. Like, we just never, it's just, I don't know. It's just like an instant connection. Y'all help me in ways, y'all ancestors help me in ways, and y'all say I help y'all, but whatever, y'all give me that energy.
Because we can in the future definitely have a conversation in regards to, like, because I have a Caribbean background. I'm Caribbean, right? Dominican. And then what they're like, what the Tainos or the indigenous people from that island before the colonizers came, what they were practicing, right? Same shit. They were doing narcotics. Like, they call it narcotics, but they were taking cahoba, right? Smoking it. Or Bohique will like take the cahoba, the medicine man, and he will then proceed to connect with the Tainos or the Semis. So they definitely human experience has, the human spiritual experience definitely has been collaborative with like other herbs and stuff like that. So when you talk about the ancestors' work, like that's what they want to remind me of working with the planet, and also like the Orisha side to it as well.
Yeah, like it never, like I said, it's collaborative, and get used to Emily being on my platform, guys. Get used to Giselle being on my platform, and we got so many different topics and conversations that we're just going to have to expound on in the space of ancestor work. You know what I'm saying? Because it's about building platforms and crossing platforms and being organic and authentic with your expression. And certain things you can't wish for or hope for out here in these streets. All you can do is be true to you, and you will be led and magnetized to the people that's supposed to come into your purpose. See, when you get deep within this shit, like I'm telling you, deep within this shit, people come to you, right? But you so deep within your ancestors and your spirit that so many good people that came to you that you don't never really trip, and then it ain't like good or bad, but some people leave too, right? And that's cool too. But the beautiful part for me is that the magnetism of the purity and just working together and building each other in a way that I can be of assistance, and y'all can assist me at the same time too, because y'all got y'all shit, excuse my language, together. You feel me? And I really appreciate that and value that, and goddess energy. Like I was telling the guys earlier, like goddesses don't come in your life trying to take away from you. They always come in your life enhancing your shit a million times better, and you just like, well, Thank you. I don't know what I did to deserve it, but I'll take it. You feel me? Like
you're being a complete king. You're over here. You're spilling half of the cup, right? You're not half of the cup. You're spilling the whole cup and leaving these bits and pieces for people to grab and be able to, expand. So from this book, like now that people know that they're magical, now that people know that they are this, you're empowering the community. What now it's in their hands to like, what are you going to do with it now that you know that you are magical? What can you do? How can you change? How can you pivot and really just live the life that you desire? Because we can all change it around. The mind is powerful.
1000%. Like I know what I want to do for the rest of my life. No cap. After this book, like for me, I know what I want to do. So generally, if a person feel like they don't know that, I could tell you like, what makes you happy? Doing what I love to do. What got you this way? Doing the chakra work. What else got you to the chakra work? Ritualistic cannabinoid use. Oh, I ain't ready for that. Well, then don't ask me how I got to where I got. You know what I'm saying? And just y'all assisting me in creating the validation in this actual process. And I just want my platform to as many people that like really deal with me to go follow their Instagrams, tune in and tap in and see if you can assist them. Like my biggest market on YouTube is New York City. So please don't y'all will get a reading, go follow these young ladies. So because we know the vibes, we know what time it is, the gods is awakening, but generally they don't really know that for real, for real. You know what I'm saying? And as much as we could give them the experience, let's do it. You know what I'm saying? Because it gives us really something to do at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? So what's y'all birth signs? Not y'all birth sign, like y'all like sun, moon, risings real quick.
Wow. I am a Libra Sag, so you can probably tell with my way of being. I am a Libra ruled by Venus, and then you have your double Jupiter, so all about expansion. So I like to expand.
Ashe, I love it. I love it. I love it. Partnerships and taking partnerships to the next level.
You already know. See, we're already there. Finish my sentences.
I love it. Emily, what's up?
I'm a Scorpio.
See. I ain't about to do it. I'm done. I want to go home. I'm already at home. Where I'm going to go? No. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Sag moon, Cancer.
Oh my goodness gracious, girl. Oh, so many vibes. So many vibes. Man, okay.
Yes.
That's
so
dope.
So me and her connect. Like I don't know where your necklace is on. You got to put your necklace on, girl. You know we're protecting ourselves online, girl. But we are moon sisters. That's how I call it. And overall, like I feel like there's a big calling globally to build sisterhood. So I always like to recall. I love Hood Mystic because Hood Mystic likes to deep dive into mystical, metaphysical shit. I'm ready to pop open some, Dr. Africa books and let's figure this whole thing, out. And then I love Emily because we her literally once is passion, once there's fire, I just be there like, Emily, we're fire, we're fire, it's thing. We just start to expand and it's beautiful to watch,
So y'all got that's very powerful energy. Like that's very ancestral. That Sag Moon connection, and yeah, it's just very strong goddess energy. So my thing is that feminine energy, finding it for yourself, building upon it, validating it, growing it, and that sisterhood. Like I ain't telling nobody about. I told y'all what I'm doing next, but people don't know how I'm about to come after. You know what I'm saying? And generally, spirit work in a crazy type of way because we was going to name it a name, but that name is taken. So we're going to actually play it off of this, what we're doing now. So it's going to be step one, step two. And for me, it's like the goddesses need as much support that they not getting, because these are our mothers at the end of the day, no matter how you feel about anything. So you just got to actually do the right thing and be better than Spike Lee out here in these streets. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I'm moving to in my life. And I don't care about nothing else really, because I know what's important. I know the message that needs to get across, and I'm gonna just say that and live that and live in that. So me creating infrastructure, building and linking with goddesses, people who got the minds and heart to whew, living legends out here in these streets, man. I'm just
okay.
just,
The
I'm
flame is on. I need another fan. I need
I'm
another.
super,
I need Beyonce fans in here.
you feel me? I'm just trying to let you know how everybody else is feeling. They like, Hood Mystic is like, I'm the GOAT for real. After this one, they gonna have to put my name up in the rafters right next to Kobe. You feel me? Like,
You have
like,
to subscribe. You have to like, subscribe, and share this comment, because the more people you share this video with, this live with,
yes.
the more we talk, the more people we bring, the more juicy it's gonna get. It's just gonna get juicier.
Yes. So, how can people get interest if they want to tune in and tap into the book club? What would be the easiest, best way, if it's possible?
Right now we have an Instagram called Soul Food Club 9 that exists, and you can add and follow us there. And we do individually post about the book clubs on our own Instagram, but we're going to come back and definitely provide updates on that Instagram.
Okay, so if they was interested, they can just follow y'all on Instagram. But spell the Instagram, because I got my chat open up right now. I'm gonna put it in the chat right now. Spell that book club one.
Soul Food Club. So SOULFOODCLUB 9.
Okay. All right. So I love it. I love it. Yes. This has been this is a straight up introduction. So when we pop out again, y'all gonna know what the vibes is. Y'all know how we coming. Y'all know we talking about something that's gonna be extremely provocative and thought provoking. We had no real intention. It's just more straight introduction, cross platforming, and people that's really in the streets and people that's really trying to do things out here. And with that being said, our ancestors actually brought us together in a very succinct, magical, and very destiny type way, I personally feel like. So as much as they want to see me do well is as much as I want to see them do well, and this is the type of collaborations that I really enjoy doing. So what anything that y'all would like to say in closing before we hop up off this live?
I believe it would be fun doing the YouTube, so folks can tune in there. And thank you, everyone. Have a great night, Ashe.
And for me, thank you so much for tuning in. I love the space. Thank you, Kari, for creating the space and allowing the space to happen. And please, just a few things that I'm coming up with. I do have my own metaphysical store. It's called innerspirit.world. That's the URL, and that's the Instagram handle. And I do sell holistic health and wellness products on Life Gardening Tools. So lifegardeningtools.com. If you're seeking to buy your next detox, natural overall flat-bellied tea, we got immunity blend, we got all the health and wellness products for a very good price for the community, just because we are pretty much kind of like pandemic relief. So sharing that for people who need health and wellness.
Yes. And so inner spirit, just like it's spelled, like INNER spirit.world.
INNER spirit.world, correct. So it's your inner spirit. In the end, you are in the world of spirits. So it's going inside, deep dive, checking your chakras, meditating. I do have Reiki candles up there on the site. We're gonna have some really cool candles launching in the future. So it's my little metaphysical sanctuary. My studies in a nutshell. So the same way you have this going on, you're part of my studies. I was going by myself, educating myself, and came up with the story as well.
Yeah, no doubt. And generally, I've been thinking about the stories as well. And we were supposed to have a collaboration in reference to, so stay in tune because we're going to have an Inner Spirit World Colombian Exchange collaboration in reference to Chakra Nova as well. So we'll be working on that. But it's a lot of conversations that we got to have and a lot of different ways that we got to build and see how we can help each other. And more or less, we set the example and we set the table, but it's hella empty spots. You feel me? So anybody else that want to come sit at the table and, carry, you put the plates down. You get the cups. You know what I'm saying? It's not hard to be intuitive, family, but that's what this work really speak to. And if you're not there yet, then that's where you got to get to. So you might be thinking like partnerships and linking up with people. How do I get there? It's an inner vibration that leads you to every partnership in the world. You're not putting your neck out here. It's just more of a vibratory frequency and alignment. So what this speaks to and what this will continue to speak to is alignment, synchronicity, high vibrations, and information, right? And like showing people instead of telling people is the illest shit with the spiritual stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because you could talk this shit all day and read all of the books, right? But to sit and hold space and to create and to come up with all the different types of collaborations and vibrations that we about to come up with in different types of realms. And this is just an introduction, family. Like we said earlier, we could have sat here and did a whole 4-hour live. Like, we could have just sat here and talked y'all asses to death. You mean, like, if we said we gonna do it an hour, we gonna keep it tight, right? But just be prepared, family. That's all I'm gonna say. But I keep going around. But any ending thoughts before I end it? Any parting thoughts?
There's definitely ancestor guide, definitely holds us. But we definitely who've been harmed by prohibition. All of the medicine makers, all of the pharmacists, all of the healers in our communities, the needs that have been harmed by prohibition. And we got to make sure they're freed because a lot of them are still dealing with a lot of the effects of prohibition of marijuana, even in states that have legalized. Even countries like Jamaica that have legalized the rosters have not received justice. So we got to make sure that, in this work that we're doing in our daily lives, we're also advocating for them too, especially if we use marijuana as a tool, as a method of healing themselves.
So y'all be going live? Y'all both go live on IG rather regularly or not?
You know what, Emily, we should do more. We could do it more, but I know that I get on sometimes to talk about astrological stuff. But on Emily's part, go for it.
We go live on the Honey Madre page sometimes. Usually it could be a lobby day, an event going on. If we're updating folks about the legislation or something big that's happening, we'll go live occasionally when I'm cooking. Because I'm making free treats. Sometimes I'll go live on doing that. And we've gone live, just like mostly doing advocacy events. So if you follow us on Instagram at Honey Madre, you can tap into that.
Please do so, family. Tap in because I don't know why you was talking. I just seen you doing like hella Instagram lives for some reason. I might be thinking or speaking. You know how things get once we get into these eagle-eye conversations and ancestors start talking about the future. You think the future is now, and like I said, we could go on and on and on, but ladies, we gotta discuss a collaborative. I'm gonna end this live, but y'all don't hang up so we can discuss the next time that we're gonna talk. And yeah, it's been great for my subscribers. Like they've been sitting here eating it up, and I just want to give them more content like this, valuable, informative, different perspective and vibrations, instead of just me talking, right? The people who listen and can understand what I'm saying and hear their reflection, it y'all helping me way more than y'all think that I'm helping y'all right now. Because if y'all be like, well, y'all listen to him, and y'all this is what he been talking about this whole time. Like, you know what I mean? He be talking to the elites and shit. Like, I be telling y'all think I just be talking. I don't be talking to the flim flam scrams out here in these streets. I speak directly to the creme de la creme. You feel me? So once again, my shit about to go through the roof. Y'all don't even know. No, I'm just joking. But much love. And I'm gonna end this stream. And
Wait,
go
I
ahead.
didn't realize.
Go ahead.
Touching back on how you were talking about how people misuse marijuana.
Yeah.
There's definitely a lot of plants that people can lean into. A lot of marijuana is not being grown like sustainably. It's not being grown ethically. It's not taken care of because a lot of corporations are getting their hands on this industry. That's why homegrown is so important. You want to know exactly where your medicine is coming from, what they're putting in there, how it's being grown, how it's being taken care of. And with corporations in the mix, they could be putting pesticides, they could be putting chemicals to make it stronger, things that you don't want in your marijuana. So it's so important that we divest from overusing marijuana and realize that there's other plants that we can lean into. There's other plant ancestors that can take care of us. There's places like Sacred Vibes Apothecary if you're in New York City and Brooklyn. If you're in New Jersey, Mystic Fairy Apothecary or Rainy River Apothecary. In the Bronx, Alternatives. There's a lot of herbalists, especially in New York City, that you could tap into. Mother Apothecary, Willow's Touch, just all over. If you follow us on Instagram, we're always posting their events as well. So definitely tap into other herbs that you can use besides marijuana that can heal your body, even to smoke as smoking alternatives, and even some that are psychedelic that you can reach out to Giselle. She could talk to you about as well.
Oh Lord, y'all taking me to church. Oh no.
Oh, it's gonna go.
It's gonna go down.
We have to definitely bring in Adrian because this is definitely Adrian was the one who connected me to you. So I think that we have to circle him in because he's definitely gonna dive in. And when I say that, it's gonna. I don't want to say it all out. Let's just say that there's different parts with different juicy parts that are going to all come together. Because now, as you were saying that in my head, I was just thinking those are big brands that are already established, but we already have healers and people who do this on the regular, who need more who need a platform, who need people because those platforms might not be helping those specific people who need the platforms. So it's now we got to create that platform of healers and amongst our community, especially the Spanish community as well, as I think about them.
Yeah, I think I hate this cliche, but I'm gonna say it the unity of Black and Brown. So we was gonna talk about something, and I said I was gonna make it simple, but I didn't make it simple. I didn't even talk about it. I'm gonna talk about it now. What unites us and what lights us up, what decolonizes us, what brings our activation to the forefront, to the surface, is in our blood. Now, generally, you would be like, dang, the only people that Black people had sex with was Black people, and the only people Puerto Ricans had sex with was Puerto Ricans, and the only people that people had Dominicans. It did not go like that.
It did not. It was
it was all types of mixtures going on. So when we show up in this space, we can all show up confident with our ancestors because we know that it's in our blood. So when we activate our chakras this summer, we not activating some abstract weird concept within our existence. We activate in our blood. So once again, you know what I'm saying? All of these blockages that we have is about to be obliterated through this spiritual practice. And I'm just like, I'm just here for it, ready for it, prepared for it at this point. But yeah, but that's what I wanted to say, the blood. You know what I'm saying? That's how we decolonize this shit. Like, we activate our blood, get in tune with our blood, and deal with all of our ancestors just waiting for our awareness. There's so much power in awareness that if we don't fully exercise it, we might be aware of some bullshit and suffering those consequences and repercussions, not knowing that our awareness is that power. So awareness to bullshit, creating bullshit, and you just looking at more bullshit and creating more bullshit and looking at, you know what I'm saying? That's that loop of bullshit that it's like, all right, be aware of your blood, be aware of your ancestors, hold that space. That's going to end that loop, and you're going to create different shit. And, you know, us holding that space is going to be the bridge to people get a lot of places from here to there. So I'm super excited, you know what I'm saying? And very fortunate that we had crossed paths like this.
Likewise. All in divine timing.
It is. That's a fact. That's a fact.
Are we gonna wrap this up?
Yeah, we gonna see, that's what I'm saying.
To the VIP? Are we going to
That's what I'm saying. I gotta prepare for some things a little later. You know, you gonna go to they gonna have the after hours on Clubhouse. I'm gonna actually stay on Clubhouse for a second to see if y'all if anybody is on Clubhouse right now. And as I prepare for this little shindig that I got going a little later, I'm on Clubhouse at Hood Mystic. Giselle is on Clubhouse at Cribwitch, and that's C-A-R as in rabbit, I-B as in boy, E-Witch. Emily is on Clubhouse too, but she not in the room right now, but I don't know if she'll be in the room or not, but
I just added her.
It's at Jaime Madre.
Okay, so at Jaime Madre, she's on Clubhouse, and we're gonna have a little after party. I always wanted to go to an after party, but I always been too lame to get invited. But now